Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and lead instructor for CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time every Monday. If you enjoy this video, hit that like button, and if you want to submit to be on the show, take a look at the information in the description. This is played here and I actually posted this one up on social media yesterday, and I was quite shocked. So sometimes I will post hands up on social media and try to get people's opinions about the hand. And so I put it on Twitter, I put it on Instagram, and I was really surprised by a lot of the people's answers. So here 5-5-10, 2500 effective, and a pretty recreational game. +1 here opens to 40. And the hero is on the button and has ace ace and 3 bets. Excuse me, not ace ace. I'm sorry. This was not a hand that I necessarily played, so that's why I look back at my notes. The hero has queen queen and 3 bets here to 150. So queen of diamonds, queen of clubs, queen of diamonds, queen of clubs, 3 bets to 150. The small blind cold calls. So small blind calls, like that in itself is going to be a little bit of a fishy, sort of thing. And the original raiser calls. So it's 3 ways. It's a 3-bet pot. The pot is like 465. +1 opens to 40. Hero 3 bets to 150. Small blind cold calls. And the original raiser also calls, right? So 465 to the flop. Okay. The flop comes out 10 of clubs, 7 of diamonds, deuce of clubs. So pretty good flop for obviously, queen, queen. Now the small blind leads out for 275. So small blind leads for 275. +1 folds. And the hero calls. So the hero decides to call. I think that you could make a case here just because it's such a fishy type of play pre-flop. The cold call, the cold call out of the small blind, like that's not really a thing. I mean, it's pretty much, you should be 4-betting or basically folding. So if I didn't know anything about the player, like say for example, I was playing online on Poker Bros, right? By the way, if you want to, like I said, if you want to play on Poker Bros or in King's Club, you can look at the information in the description to get on the Telegram chat to get onboarding in our club. But anyway, so, that in itself is a really fishy play, right? So when he leads out here for 275 into 2 people, I'm already thinking that this is a fishy play with the cold call from the small blind, right? So what is his lead range here? Well, it could be club draws. It could be tens. It could be a hand, maybe like Jack, but I would think that it's very unlikely that he's going to be like leading out with a set of tens. Like when you start to think about, okay, what does the small blind cold call 3 bets with? It's probably like queens, jacks, tens. Aces and kings are usually going to be 4-bet off here because there's an original raiser here behind who opened the pot, right? So you want to drive him out of the hand. So that's what I would be thinking. So when +1 folds, I would seriously consider raising here. Seriously consider raising, but in this case, the hero just called. And I don't think, I think that that's fine, but I think that there is something to be said here, definitely for raising. So now the pot is 1,015, okay? The turn is the 7 of hearts, and this is really where it went off the rails on social media. So small blind's going to lead again, this time for $630. So it makes a big bet here of 630. And this is where people just like the hand reading skill, I think it sometimes escapes them, where they don't put the whole hand back together based upon the pre-flop action and just the action altogether. A lot of people said, well, this looks like when we basically get to the end, this looks like he could have like ace-7 of clubs, king-7 of clubs. Are those hands really cold calling 150? 3 bets cold out of the small blind, king-7 of clubs, ace-7 of clubs? I mean, I guess if they got there, some people might lead them. But I mean, you got to be really dealing with somebody that's off the wall that's going to cold call 3-bets in the small blind with ace-7 of clubs or king-7 of clubs. I mean, this guy almost never has a 7 here. And when he bets $630 here on the turn, right, you start to think to yourself, well, what are the super thick value hands that he might lead out with on the flop, even if he played a weird unorthodox play with like a set? Tens, maybe pocket sevens. You don't think he's going to call with deuce deuce. So now pocket sevens are quads, and pocket tens is top full. Top full now, leading out multi-way into a 3-bet pot for 275 and a 465. Okay, that's weird. And now 630 when he's got top full? I mean, that's the line I used to take back in the day when fast playing was always the best way to play to win the most money in Live No Limit back in 2005, 2006. But even if you were to say, okay, it's a possibility that may be the case. We'll see what happens at the end. For the hero here, I think once again, we probably have a standard call here, as played. Unless for some reason we wanted to make like a protection / value raise and we thought that the guy had like 2 overs and clubs, although we have like the queen of clubs in our hand. So we bet 630 and hero calls. Also too, you have to note the stack sizes here. So the pot's now 2275. Guy only started with 2500. So he's put in like 1150 to 1200. He only has like 1300 left. He's got like a little over half a pot size bet left here too, right? Okay. So now we get to the river, and the river's the 6 of diamonds. So again, it's open to 40, hero on the button with queen queen to 150. Small blind cold calls call. 10-7 deuce 2 clubs. Small blind leads out for 275 plus 1 folds. Hero calls. Turns to 7 of hearts. Small blind leads out for 630. Hero calls. Pot's 2275 now. Guy's got about 1250 to 1300 left in his stack. The river's the 6 of diamonds. And now the small blind bets 325. So he takes a line of 275 on the flop, 630 on the turn, and now he lowers his bet size on the river to 325 into 2275. One of the other things people said is, 8-9 is out here. Again, guys, come on, 8-9 really as a cold call in a 3-bet pot here in this particular spot, cold calling with 8-9 and then I don't buy it here. This is like a block all day long here with a hand like Jack, with a hand like Ace 10, King 10, something like that. I just can't imagine not raising here. How can you not raise here? This guy is going to bet out for 630 here with pocket tens on the turn or a hand like 7x of clubs, and now he's going to bet for 325 when it looks obvious that when the hero calls the 630 on the turn, the hero always has an overpair here, or at least a 10. So why on earth would the small blind bet out for 1/8 the size of the pot? Put yourself in that small blind position. And I know that sometimes we outlevel ourselves, right? Because sometimes we're actually better players than we give our credit to our opponent. But I mean, I've been playing live poker for 15 years. There's no way that a guy that's bombing with that thick value is going to bet 1/8 the river when we know that the opponent on the button here has an overpair through the preflop action. This is a block bet. The guy's got jacks. He's got a 10. I mean, this is such an easy raise. I was shocked. Like 80 to 90% of the people in social media said, it's just a call. And if you say just a call, if you're saying that this is a call here with queen queen, are you saying that aces is a call here, kings is a call here? Because what's the difference? Because remember, we 3-bet the button with queen queen, right? And the small blind called with an initial raiser left to act behind him. He's almost always going to 4-bet off with kings and aces. So if you take kings and aces out of his range, then if you're calling here with queens, then you're calling here with kings and aces to 325 into 2275? I mean, no way. So small blind bets 325. Hero raises it to 1,000, and the small blind calls, and hero is good. Don't know what the small blind had. Obviously, small blind did not show, but it was a great value raise here by the hero on the button, getting maximum value. I mean, it just seems like such a no-brainer to me that I sometimes wonder, people maybe not necessarily with a whole lot of live experience just don't pick up some of these betting patterns. I can't imagine flatting here with queen queen. Now jack jack is a little bit different because I think you're going to run into queens some of the times, but if you have queens, you'll sometimes run into the same hand, but you're not going to run into aces or kings. I mean, come on, right? If you like what you've seen here, please hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this call-in hand, hit the like button down below. To check out crushlivepoker.com, click on the link in the description. Use the code YTA300 to get the first 30 days for free.